Hey, what is up, guys? And, it's been a while, but I promise you, this time, I really have figured it out. I'm going to try as hard as I can to make sure these get out every Monday, episodes for this podcast every Monday and Thursday, but sometimes they might be a day or two late. But I promise you, in the end, you will get the information, and it would definitely happen. I got a lot going on, guys, and January was a rough month. It was the month that would never end. Uh, I try not to talk about political things on here, but if you know, you know. And, there's a lot of shit going down, and it was just too much for my brain. Yeah, and I just said nope. So there's that. But I pushed past, and I realized, you know what? We got to still have this out here. There's got to be a place where we can talk about spiritual and mystical and magical things in a world that is full of a bunch of dark things happening right now. And that's about as political as I'm going to get on this podcast. So, as usual, welcome to our Mystic Road Trip. This is a podcast where I talk about crystals, herbs, ley lines, all kinds of that stuff. Mondays are typically reserved to what I like to call magic. Not necessarily magic, but just basic general topics. This week we are talking about the moons of February, so that's going to cover the full moon and the new moon. And then on Thursdays I cover solely there's kind of more than one person in here. Ooh. On Thursdays we do talk solely about tarot, and on Thursdays I take one tarot card at a time, and I basically do a deep dive into that to give you as much information as you can to help your practice become more thorough or full. Full sounds right. If that sounds like something you're into, hey, come on in. My name's Kim. I am a tarot reader. I'm a meditation guide. I'm a holistic dietitian. I'm a life coach. I'm a writer. I'm a lot of things, like most of us are. But one of the things I'm really, really passionate about is living a spiritual, mystical, and magical life. And I want to get as much knowledge as I can. So when I get the knowledge, I give it to you. This is how my design is. I am a teacher, and this is what I've learned is that, and it took me a while to get there. I like to share my knowledge with people. And before I realized that this is what my calling was, I sometimes felt like I was like the know-it-all, and I didn't like that. But now I realize it's not that I'm a know-it-all. I just like to share what I know, and not, whether that's to help people grow, or just to give them a new perspective. That's what I'm here for, is to take the things I know and hopefully help people grow and evolve their perspectives a little bit. And if that sounds cool to you, then I'm your person. Before we jump into the topic at hand, if you want to contact me, there's ways to do that in the description box. If you want to support the podcast, by all means, there's ways to do that in the description box. At the very least, please share, like, review, follow, all those kind of good things. It really helps me out, and it helps get the word out to more people so we can build a community where we can talk about all these things together. I would love to eventually someday have guests on and all that kind of thing. So the more the word gets out, the more that's likely to happen, and then you won't only have to look at this mug or listen to this voice, depending on where you're watching me. Because, by the way, I am on Spotify, but I'm also now on YouTube. So if you have ever wondered what this magical voice looks like, you can check it out over there. I'm sure you're gonna be shocked. I don't know, shocked in a good way or bad way, but I'm sure you're gonna be like, that's the person that belongs to that voice? I'm sure of it. I do it every time I listen to my voice back. I'm like, is that? No. All right. Anyways, guys. So, also, there's a Medium publication that goes with this podcast. There's a lot of more information over there. I am, by trade, a writer. So, of course, my Medium is going to be a little bit... Also, if you're into history and you're into women, you can take that either way you want to take it. You should probably check out my other podcast, which is Where All the Ladies At. It's basically me looking for the women in history that seem to have magically disappeared. Yeah, it's fun. There's a lot of them out there. So if that's something you're into, check it out too. The link is in the description box. All right, guys. So, you know it's Monday. Oh, look, my cat's making a magical appearance. Check it out. Her name is Mama. She's going to get some... Mama. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Oh, she's trying to be cute now. You see her little tail? You see her little tail? Hi, babe. Hold on a second. She wants a little jowl scratch. Okay. If you like cats, there's a chance you'll get to see him. He's this one. Hi. Oh, yeah. No, I don't want to play. She wants to play. We've already played, but, you know. Anyways, that's enough of the cat drama. Let's talk about it. On Mondays, we start with something called Our Week in the Stars. This is basically where I take a couple major transitions that are happening astrologically, and I kind of break down the energies and how you maybe could use them, right? So let's do that. All right, so let's start with Tuesday, February 4th. Two things are happening. Venus is entering Aries, and Jupiter is going direct in Gemini. Ha. Okay, so what does that mean? All right, so let's talk about Venus in Aries first. So, you know, Venus is the planet of love, and Aries is a fire sign. It's very bold, it's very fiery, right? So if you put those two together, obviously it could mean like there's a surge in passion and confidence and a lot of action when it comes to relationships. A lot of the times you'll be very inspired during this time to take the initiative. And maybe that means you're pursuing someone you're interested in, or maybe just making moves. Whatever it is, the placement really is great for a go-getter attitude, right? I'm going to do this. But, and this is the opposite side of it, it can also bring impatience or impulsiveness, right? So you have to be really careful of acting too quickly. You have to think about the consequences. It's great to be spontaneous and it's great to go be a go-getter, but if you do it recklessly, it could lead to you getting hurt or the other person getting hurt is kind of what I'm saying, you know. How to navigate it, I would say it's a good time to express your desires openly and maybe take a first step towards a romantic adventure. But you have to remember to balance that enthusiasm with patience, right? And you have to consider the other person. I would say don't rush into things. Make sure you understand what you truly want and maybe where the other person is, right? As best you can before you make any big movements. Just be cautious, would we say. Like, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying think about the other person and then also think about like what's the goal in the long term. Can you make a smaller step as opposed to that big grand gesture? So like, horrible example, but I'll give it to you. So you want to send flowers to someone and you want to send them like 12 dozen, right? Maybe sending them 1 dozen, right? That's not as overwhelming. So maybe a smaller version of what you want to do might be a better option today. Still take the action, still go with your gut, but maybe make it a smaller gesture in order to test the waters, kind of thing. That could be just me being cautious. I am a Capricorn, but I would say that's how I would use the energy. Okay. Jupiter direct in Gemini. So Jupiter is about expansion and movement forward, okay? Especially adaptable or communicative, right? Especially in the sign of Gemini, right? Because Geminis, God love them, and I do. I love me a good Gemini. They're very adaptable and they're very communicative. They are an air sign. Therefore, they are all mental. Oh, that didn't come out right. I did not mean they're all mental. Some of them are. But hey, there's mental people in all signs. But I mean, they're very much in their mind. They're intellectual. Okay. And they're adaptable. This is why a lot of people call Geminis two-faced. It's not two-faced. They are adaptable. They go with the flow of the crowd they're in. Right? It's a great tool to have. They're chameleon, right? Because these two are coming together, you're going to probably feel a boost in like curiosity, and you'll want network, and social connections are going to be good. It's going to broaden your horizons. You know, that could be travel, that could be education. It could be just really great discussions. It could be a very exciting time for learning new things and like starting very stimulating conversations. Everything in the mind, right? But it also could be that you find yourself scattered your energies in too many directions, because you're going to have this boost of curiosity, but it's going to be kind of like that thing where you're like, oh, this is cool. And then you'll read like just a little something and something. Oh, this is cool. And your mind is going to want to grab everything. I think you need to like focus that energy. Pick a few key things and just go in on them. Don't spread yourself too thin. Trust me, guys. Spreading yourself thin leads to this, like sickness and all that kind of stuff. I'm getting over a cold. Okay? You're going to want to dive into everything, but it should be quality over quantity, not quantity over quality, right? So embrace opportunities for growth and connection, but make sure you channel it towards projects and relationships that you really resonate with, okay? Because there's going to be a lot of shiny things. Ooh, you know, like the dog in Up, right? Squirrel, right? Don't do that. Don't do the squirrel thing. Focus and use that boost of curiosity and energy to push you towards something, okay? All right, guys. So the next big one I want to talk about is several days later. It's Friday, February 7th. So Venus in Aries is going to sextile Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto in Aquarius, guys. It's there for a while. Okay, so Venus sextile Pluto. Let's talk about this. So Venus in Aries, which we talked about, right? And you have Pluto in Aquarius. Now, a sextile is actually a really great opportunity for those two energies to feed off each other, right? So, it's going to bring a lot of deep, transformative energy to relationships. And that's not, and creativity, and that's not relationships. I'm not even talking just with other people, but I'm talking about relationships with yourself too. It's going to help with self-worth, right? Pluto is very intense though, so you have to remember, right? And Venus has love energy. So everything is going to combine in a way to help you kind of get rid of any of those superficial attachments and outdated patterns in love. It's time for them to go away. It's time for you to step into something new, right? It's a great time to deepen emotional bonds, or maybe have pretty transformative conversations. And those conversations are meant to, shift your perception. And it's going to allow you to really figure out what you truly desire in relationships. It could also bring some opportunities to reinvent your style, or maybe even approach different things in different ways, more creatively. Now, what I would say for this energy is to just explore. Pluto in Aquarius, God help us all, is going to be pretty amazing. I know there's a lot of shit that's going to go down, and trust me, it's going to go down. Pluto was in Capricorn for a long time. Shit is going to go down. But I will say it's going to help transform, right? Now, this combination, you're going to need to be open to the transformation of old patterns, and maybe being a little more creative in your approach to love, right? If you are in a relationship, it could be a great time to like heal those wounds, maybe some issues, grow closer. You need to trust that changes make you better, and it's going to lead you towards more authentic and give you more empowerment in your connections. So just embracing it and being open to change and maybe thinking about things in a different way, right? All right, and finally, so guys, I just want to make sure you guys know, like for me, my weeks go Monday through Sunday because I post on Monday, so I sometimes count Sunday into the week. So I say that because the next one we're going to talk about, there's a couple big things here, is Sunday, February 9th. So let's talk. You have Sun in Aquarius, and it's going to conjunct Mercury in Aquarius. Okay, that's Aquarius action. That's a lot of Aquarius action, right? And you have Mars in Cancer, trine Saturn in Pisces. So, air and water, woo, yes. All right, so let's start with Sun conjunct Mercury in Aquarius. So, when the Sun aligns with Mercury in Aquarius, you're liable to find like a huge boost in like your intellectual energy. Things might become more clear. Aquarius is my second favorite sign of the whole zodiac. I only say Gemini because I have a thing for Geminis. Oh, I date Geminis. And Aquarius, I have a lot of Aquarius friends. So Aquarius is like my favorite. Aquarians are innovative and they are very forward thinking and they're very socially conscious. And this attached with everything else kind of highlights the ability to like think outside the box, right? Come up with inventive solutions. This energy is a great time for brainstorming, having insightful conversations, maybe sharing some unique perspectives. But with that being said, there is a tendency to be overly focused on the mental realm and really disconnect from emotions. So balance is your key. Be balanced. Maybe on this day, leaning into your creative and intellectual side is probably a good idea. You might have realizations or bursts of inspiration. I think you're gonna find you're gonna maybe start new projects, new ideas are gonna start forming. I would say write them down, and write down everything, your thoughts, your reflections. Because you're going to have a lot of clarity that day, especially in the mind. So stay grounded, stay connected with your emotions, though. Don't detach yourself so much that you go into your head. It's about the balancing of the head and the heart, and that's key. It can spin real quick to being way too heady of a day, and don't do that. Try to stay away from that. Okay. So, Mars in Cancer, trine Saturn in Pisces. This is a great combination, too. So, Mars in Cancer, you're going to find that Mars's drive and action is going to mix with the disciplined spirit energy of Saturn. That's kind of a fun combination. It's going to be really heavy in the flow. It's going to maybe move you towards some emotional healing, maybe focus a little bit more on your home life and longer term goals. But I will say try to be practical, try to do a steady approach. Everything's going to just be steady. Just be practical and steady, okay? Put in hard work, but only in things that are meaningful to you, have deep meaning, and are meant to drive you closer to your long-term potential. I think that's something. How do you navigate this energy? Okay, well, persistence and patience. The energy is very nurturing and protective because Cancer's involved. Saturn is about responsibility and structure. So maybe this time would be good to build foundations in your personal life, work on healing past emotional wounds. And it's good to take steady progress, make steady progress on goals. Do like a little check-in, especially on anything that requires emotional investment, anything that's a long-term commitment. This is a day, I would say reflection is a big thing on this day. I don't think it's a big day for moving. It's just kind of a lot of self time, right? Because you're looking at things that want to drive you towards where you're going. Pardon me. All right, so just be patient, be kind to yourself, take care. It's a good day for all of that things. And that's our week in the stars, guys. I hope it helps. Please, if any of it resonated, make sure you leave me a message. I would love to hear it. And also, if you have any questions, let me know. I do astrology too, so let me know what you think. All right, guys, so now is the time. We're going to get into the main topic. All right, so main topic. February's moons. So let's start. So we have a full moon in Leo on February 12th. It is the snow moon, and the snow moon is called that because typically February is the heaviest snowfalls in the northern hemisphere. Obviously not in the southern hemisphere. And then we have a new moon in Pisces on February 27th. And this can sometimes be referred to as the storm moon because there's a lot of storms that hit in February, obviously, right? Pisces energy of a storm moon kind of, we'll go into all that a little deeper down further. Sorry, guys, I have to check my notes because I can't remember all this stuff. I remember the moons, but everything else, I'm old. I don't have that type of capacity anymore. All right, so let's start. Full moon in Leo, February 12th. Okay, so a full moon in Leo, everything you do during this time is going to be amplified. So Leo is ruled by the sun, which is the center of our solar system, right? And therefore, it's a moon about self-expression, leadership, and embracing your uniqueness. You know, Leo is very fiery and it's very passionate, and they tend to, you need to show up as your authentic self is what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, if you've been hesitant to take center stage in something, or you've been holding back on a creative project, it's time to just release those shackles and let yourself be free. It's time to shine, okay? So, the full moon, Leo's, okay. I know some people don't like Leos. You know, there's haters of every astrological sign. What I will say is that Leos do like to be the center of attention, which is not bad. It means that they have to be confident, right? In this situation, when I'm talking about that with the moon, I'm basically saying because this is not a time to wait for someone else to validate you. It's about you stepping into your power. You could possibly feel a big boost in your self-esteem. Maybe you want to showcase your talents more. If you have been suppressing your creativity for any reason, I would say stop that. Just trust your worth, you know, and put all your attention. The moon is there. It wants you to celebrate who you are, flaws and all, because that's part of your charm. Okay. On a mindfulness level, I would say it's a great time to boost your self-worth. So just meditate on your strengths, focus on your special qualities. It's that inner lion you have. You know, you don't need to seek approval from everybody else. The only person that you really need approval from is yourself, right? This is why confidence is key. That's how you build your confidence. So just reflect on times that you succeeded, you know, recognize your achievements. Don't be shy. You know, build a relationship with yourself so that you have unconditional love for yourself. This is a great day for that. Spiritually, I'd say full moon, it's about the heart. So follow your passions, you know. Don't let others sidetrack you, no matter what their opinions are. It's just be unapologetically you. The energy of that day, that's what this is about, okay? You've been, you know, if you've carried around negative energy and self-doubt and fears, it's time to let those go. So maybe write those down and then burn them. You know, I'm a big person. I like to burn things. Um, Bury it in the earth. You can do that too. You know, also I'd say like look at your self-care routines, add those in. You know, you want emotional and physical well-being to be a key on this day. You know, maybe a little yoga, maybe throw in some, you know, dancing, anything that's, you know, gonna make you good. You want your body and your mind and your spirit to all feel good this day. I would say also it is a full moon, so as usual, if you do your full moon ritual, it's a great day for manifesting. It's a great day for all of that kind of jazz. It's a beautiful moon, but it is really about you taking your power and owning your power and knowing your self-worth. All right, so here's the thing, guys. We're going to talk about the new moon. What I will tell you is that on top of it being a new moon in Pisces on February 27th, it is also a lunar eclipse. So we'll talk about the moon, and then we're going to talk about the lunar eclipse and what that means for that situation, okay? So the new moon in Pisces, it brings a very different energy from the full moon. It's a little softer, it's a little more introspective, it's a little more rooted in your spiritual and emotional sides. You know, Pisces is a water sign, and of course that means emotion and intuition and healing and all that stuff. So maybe slow down and really listen to your inner voice. You know, maybe let your imagination run free. Pisces are very dreamy, so let your imagination kind of use the energy, let your imagination go. You know, it's logical thinking is good, guys. Remember, Capricorn, logical thinking is good, but this day maybe it's more about your intuition. You know, Pisces is ruled by Neptune, and that's the planet of dreams and illusions. So maybe embracing a little bit more of the mystical side is a good thing on this day. Tune in with your dreams. You might find that there's messages that come through in your dreams. That means, and also things like meditation, visualization, sitting in quiet reflection. Those are all good things to do on this day. You want to kind of surrender to the flow of life, and you have to trust that the universe has your back and knows what it's doing. And I know sometimes, guys, this is a little side note, I know sometimes that's hard, especially with the things that are happening. But it's true. The universe has our back. So that's all I'm going to say. Mindfulness wise, you know, you might find emotional healing. So maybe doing a little, especially if you've been doing a little like mindfulness exercise. If you've been, the thing here is the thing, if you've been feeling like emotionally drained or overwhelmed or stuck, maybe like this is the time to let go of that negativity, because sometimes that negativity is what's keeping you in that place. You know, sit with your feelings, let them move through you. You know, a lot of the times, and it's interesting because I had a friend that just did this a little while ago. Sometimes it's very hard to just sit with our feelings. You know, just cry. If you feel sad, cry. But we don't always often do that. You know, if you feel angry, feel angry. It's okay to feel your emotions. It's the reaction to those emotions that's bad, not feeling them. And sometimes if you push those feelings down, that's when bad things happen. So we have to sit with our feelings. We have to know how our body reacts to it, know how everything goes, so we can learn how to not react in negative ways so much, right? So you know, release it, sit with your feelings. Like I said, you can journal, you can cry, you can acknowledge your emotions, you can give them names, whatever you want to do. Just acknowledge them, feel them, know, and please, when you do that, feel how your body feels, because that's going to be key too. Okay. Healing doesn't always mean fixing, guys. That's something I had to learn the hard way. Sometimes it's about acceptance and then moving on. sometimes things can't be healed. Sometimes the only thing you can do is to figure out what happened, why it happened, and then just kind of let it go and move forward, unfortunately. So spiritually, I would say lean into your intuitive practices, right? Tarot, crystals, energy healing, just anything that can help with the soul, right? If you have been looking for answers on certain things, this new moon could very much give you clarity on that. But you might need to understand you could get those in very unconventional ways. So just be open is my biggest thing. Just be open. Intention setting is good. I'm not the person who's going to tell you not to manifest on a new moon. That's up to you. What I would say is setting intentions is really great on a new moon for sure. And because of where the energy lies, I don't think you need to really worry about being too realistic. I definitely don't in 2 weeks I'm going to be a millionaire. No, come on now. But I'm going to be a millionaire. That could be okay. And it might not seem realistic to you now, but that's okay. That's okay, right? You have to dream big. You have to let your imagination run wild. Also, because Pisces is linked to healing, it's a great time for healing rituals. So focusing emotional release, physical healing, clearing negative energy, all of this is perfect, right? It's great for self-care. It's a great, great time for self-care, okay? Physically, Pisces rules the feet and lymphatic systems, so maybe relax and rejuvenate those. Maybe like a foot massage or like that kind of thing might be a good thing. All right, so the new moon is also a lunar eclipse. Now, this is gonna be pretty transformative, right? Eclipses are absolutely no joke. They cause big swift changes, shakeups, even moments of intervention. A lunar eclipse is going to intensify the new moon. So whatever the intentions or goals you set on February 27th, those are going to be amplified, right? So, but it also can bring hidden truths to surface. It could be a big time for clarity. So things are going to have spotlights put on them, and I'm not sure it's always the things we're going to want spotlights on, but in the end, it's going to help you release those old patterns and habits and everything. So it can bring sudden endings, and what I say is don't be alarmed, because once again, remember the universe has your back. So even if these changes are not something you foresee or something that you wanted, they're meant to redirect you towards something better. Okay? You might find a deeper awareness and spiritual awakening, all this stuff. Once again, just trust your intuition. If you feel something's right or wrong, pay attention. The universe really has a very clever way of guiding us towards our path. And sometimes that does happen during eclipses. Not sometimes. It happens a lot during eclipses, but we're not aware of it because we don't pay attention. It's just, get out of the old and make space for some new growth. That's what I'm going to say. It would be an excellent time if you have cord cutting that you want to do, or letting go of toxic situations, or ending cycles that don't benefit you. This is a great day to do that. Burning, burying, or even symbolic gestures, go for it. And that, guys, is the moons. The full and the new. Both of them are pretty epic, and hopefully, hopefully epic in the right way. As we all know, epic can sometimes not be in the right way. January was epic, but not in the right way. If you know what I mean. If you know, you know. I don't know. So, that's it, guys. Hopefully it helps out. If you have any questions or anything, please, there is ways to contact me through my social media in the description box. If you want to support the podcast, you can do that. There's links to my buy me a coffee and Patreon in there. At the very least, please review, rate, share, whatever you want to do. Share, follow, do all that kind of stuff. That really helps get me pushed out into the algorithm, and hopefully we can build a community and have better conversations, and maybe someday I can have guests. That would be cool. I would like to not have to talk as much, and have good banter and conversation. And the more people that listen, the more likely that is. So hopefully that happens this year. Not hopefully, it's going to happen this year. I'm putting it out into the universe, just like I think you guys should. Anything you guys want, send it out there, and eventually the universe will bring it back to you. I promise. It might take a while. And if it's something that you're supposed to have, for sure. And it might not come the way that you think you want it. How about that? The universe does what it does, and it knows what it knows. All right, guys. As always, the Medium publication, check it out. Check out my other podcast if you like history and women. And that's it. Until next week, guys. Oh, and don't forget to check out Thursday's episode. I'm talking about the Tower. Woo! Which, I'm feeling some Tower moments are happening in the world. So, yeah, that's it. So, until next week, guys, or until Thursday. Stay curious and be blessed.